Well, hey everybody, this is Kevin Snyder. Thrilled that you're checking out this video, so make sure you give it a like. Also, you can look in the description for links to everything I talk with you about today, and be sure to ask me a question, post those in the comments. Now today, we're going to be talking about the ATEM Mini switcher, and I'm going to be focusing on the Pro version, which has some added extra benefits. So if you've got the regular ATEM switcher, perfectly fine, but I'm going to show you what you'll be missing out by simply upgrading just a pinch to get to the Pro. So in today's video, I'm actually going to show you how I use the switcher to provide multiple camera angle views, going from here, to my slides, and to my fun little GoPro. Now, if you haven't seen my other video that walks you through my entire virtual studio setup, make sure that you watch that video. There's a link in the description, and it's titled How to Set Up a Virtual Studio, where I walk you through absolutely everything from lighting to sound to backdrop to the camera, the video, and how to put it all together like glue. I take you in front of the camera as well as behind the camera. So make sure that you watch that video, because this video here, we're just going to simply focus on the switcher. All right, so let's get right into it.
Dr. Kevin Snyder.
Please welcome Kevin Snyder.
Kevin, come on down.
Please join me in welcoming our speaker. Kevin, come on down.
So let's talk first about where I place my switcher. Now, clearly you can see that I'm standing up. So again, check that video out to see how I set up this entire virtual studio, where I take you behind the scenes. And you know what? Remember, if you've watched that video, I emphasized to you how important it is to not feel intimidated by this. Your intimidation or your feeling like you can't do this is going to hold you back. Don't let it. That's why I have my entire equipment list for you. All this is a learning curve. Push through that. And if I can help you, definitely let me know. But you can see here, this is where I place my switcher. So it allows me to talk to my audiences just like this, just like this, just like this, and this, with just the click of a button. Now there's currently two versions of the ATEM Mini, and there are different switcher brands out there, but the ATEM Mini, trust me, for what I do as professional speaking, where this is basically my studio, and the Pro, currently I believe it's $5.99, maybe $6.99, and the ATEM Mini, the regular, is $2.99, plus or minus supply and demand. And I purchased mine, one I purchased with B&H Photo, and I actually purchased another one on Amazon that I got quicker because B&H Photo had a back order. Let me show you the inputs on the ATEM Mini Pro. And these are very similar to the regular ATEM Mini. This is my audio input. And this audio input goes directly to my Sennheiser microphone. Easy peasy. Now there is a second mic input, and that might be in case you had two different mics, one that was placed somewhere else to make sure that you have equal sound quality. But I do not have a second mic. I only have my shotgun mic. And in my video, I explain why the shotgun mic is extremely important. If you have a area microphone, or if any microphone that you're using is not a shotgun microphone, you're going to have sound issues. So make sure that you watch my prior video about how important it is for a shotgun microphone. But that's all it is the microphone input. This is my view for my HDMI input number 1, which is one camera angle. And that is this camera angle here. Hello. The second HDMI input is for the second camera angle, which is this angle. Now guess what the third input is for? Guess what? Another camera, or in this case, I actually have this going from my computer PowerPoint. So that's my input going into here, which is number 3 that you see on the screen here. And my fourth HDMI input is, well, it's for my fourth angle view, which in this case is my GoPro. So if you wanted to have a 4 camera angle, which is you're using 4 cameras, I'm only using 3, by all means you could do that, but you'd be missing out on having your slides being shown up close like this. Now I feel 3 camera angles is sufficient, but that's just my personal preference. You might have a different preference, or perhaps if you only have 1 camera right now, that still means you can go between this camera angle and your slide. And then what you can do is you can actually grow in to that second camera angle, or even the fourth one. And as I mentioned in the video, how to set up your studio, you might want to do that simply because of budget concerns. Don't do it because this is what you feel most comfortable with just one camera angle. No, the switcher, you can grow into 4 total camera angles, which is amazing, and it's a game changer. And as I mentioned again in the video, this is an exciting way for you to differentiate whether you're a speaker, a trainer, a church leader, a teacher, a real estate agent like my wife. If you want to be making the best first impression and you rely on sales, or you just want to be the best at what you do, this technology it does all the hefty lifting for you, the switcher, and it makes you look golden. So all 4 of these inputs are simply HDMI inputs. This here is my HDMI out, and the HDMI out goes to my monitor that you see here. And this is what I love about the ATEM switcher, and especially the Pro. It has a multi-view out. And what the multi-view out means is you can actually see all different camera angles and your sound so that you can know up front if there's going to be any issues. You don't want to be recording blind, or you don't want to go into maybe your Zoom session or whatever platform you might be using. You want to know exactly if one of your cameras isn't working or if it's not feeding itself to the switcher. Well, the Pro only gives you this multi-angle view out. So as you can see here, this is my camera angle number 1, camera angle number 2, camera angle number 3, which is my PowerPoint slides, and camera angle number 4, which is my GoPro. If any one of these was black, then that means the camera isn't feeding. And that would help me troubleshoot to make sure that I could fix this and I wasn't doing something in error. Now, for just that reason, having the multi-camera angle view out, that is why you should get the Pro. That is my top recommendation. Otherwise, you're going to have issues at some point and you won't even know it until it's too late. Also, this shows me right here my sound. Right here, I can tell that my microphone the bar is going up and down. You're hearing me from my phone microphone because I want to show this to you up and close. So it is picking up my shotgun mic. Now let me hit microphone off. Okay? Only a multi-camera angle view would show me that actually my microphone is not on right now. It can sense that there's volume, but the microphone itself is not on. You hit on through the switcher. Now let's go back and look at it. Now you can see it's bright, it's crystal clear, and I know that I'm live and my voice is picking up. And let me tell you, once you make a mistake a few times, maybe after you're doing actually a presentation of some sort, or you do an hour or 2 recording and you realize the whole time you weren't even, your audio wasn't even on, guess what? You'll probably get the Pro. That alone will be frustrating enough, and that's what happened to me. So I'd encourage you to maybe take my advice. But there's other reasons I highly suggest the Pro as well, and that is for recording. You cannot record through the ATEM Mini unless you're using some sort of additional software. So again, if you just get the Pro, you don't have to worry about any of that. It's the touch of a button. And there is a recommendation I will give you on how to make sure that you do this the right way. So now we are recording. You can see we are recording. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit stop. What do you notice? It goes to green. So you have to kind of remember, green means it's ready to go. Red means it's going. I got a little confused. It's like, does red mean stop? I thought green means it's going. And no, green means ready to go. So just remember it. So now that I'm on green, guess what? We're not recording currently. That's why it says stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record, pops to red, and hopefully you saw it red there as well. So now I'm going to share with you how to actually record to an external hard drive, because this has actually been one of the most, not popular questions, but when people do ask me questions, this is the one that most frustrates them the most. Now what do you notice here is I have an external hard drive going into a multi-port with a USB-C that goes into my USB-C out. Now, this is another USB-C, and this is, I wouldn't call this a fault of the ATEM Mini, because both the ATEM Mini and the Pro are the same way. They only have one input for a USB-C. So I have to make a choice. Am I going to be using my computer to sense my camera, like in a Zoom session or Google Hangout or Microsoft Teams or Cisco WebEx? If so, yes. If they need to see me, yes, I'm going to be using this because it goes to my computer. But if I'm just doing a recording, like what I'm doing for you here, well, guess what? I don't need that. And I shouldn't be recording on Zoom anyway. I should be recording the top quality camera without it being compressed. The video feed needs to be recorded to my external hard drive, which is this. Okay? So let me show you how that actually works. And for me to do that, I'm going to stop recording with the external hard drive just for now. So if I were to start from scratch, let me show you how that works. So I'm going to hit stop. So no longer are we recording to the external hard drive. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to unplug my multi-port. And again, that port is connected to an external hard drive. So if you don't get this brand that I recommend, you're going to have problems. I bought a couple different ones, and I bought one from my coach. That one didn't work because he was on a Mac. I'm on a PC. Another one was from a YouTuber, and they told me to get an external hard drive. They probably got some kickback from it. It cost me over $350. It did not work. This one works. Get this one. So if you get any equipment that I'm not recommending, well, good luck. I put together the equipment list specifically to help people know exactly what to get so they didn't have any issues. Now here is where, if I was on Zoom or again, any kind of virtual platform, I would plug this in to the USB-C out. But since I'm not, again, I'm gonna plug this back in. Okay, now watch. It's gonna need to take a few moments possibly to recognize itself. And when it does, it's gonna pop into green, which means ready to go. And if yours doesn't, well, it's not feeding. Boom. There we go. So if you wait 30 seconds to a minute and it's still, you never get that green, then you probably don't have the right multi-port out or the external hard drive. Okay? And I don't know how any more clear I can be about that. So right now, green means ready to go. That's why it says stop. I'm not recording right now because I haven't hit that record button. When I do, that's going to go red. Okay? So I click I click record. Now what do you think you're going to see? Now I'm recording. I hit stop, no longer recording. Stop. And then one more time, I click record. Now it just turned red. Now what do you see there? Now another really cool feature of the ATEM Mini, and both the Pro and the Standard have this. It's called Picture-in-Picture. And that allows you to basically have your video in one of the corners of the screen. But be careful. It's going to show, in the video in the corner is going to be from camera angle number 1, which is this angle right here. All right? So if you have, let's say you're on camera angle number maybe 2, and you click Picture-in-Picture on, well, that's just going to kind of look weird. It doesn't really make sense to have your picture within a picture. That's why I always make sure I've got my slides on. So my angle number 3, my input, remember, is my presentation slides. So when I have Picture-in-Picture on, now my video from number 1 is going to go in the top right. And that's what you see here on the screen, hopefully. And just in case you don't, let me just show you right here. So that right there is camera angle number 1. Those are that's my slide, my presentation slides. So one thing that I kind of do for fun is tell my audiences, if you remember the game Press Your Luck, the game show, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, and stop. It kind of makes it kind of fun. Normally I don't even do that, but hey, I might have just given you an idea. Alrighty, so that is the picture-in-picture. Something else that is really neat is the transition buttons, which you've got access to do those to cut directly, like what you see here. I just go in between my cut, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's immediate with the touch of a button. But if I were to, yep, okay, just checking. Now, the cut makes it automatic and immediate. If I hit auto, now I have the choice of half a second, 1 second, 1.5 second, or a 2-second transition. And it also gives me the effect of the transition as well. So this is kind of a cheesy one. It's more of a, I guess, sprinkle down, or one of you probably knows what this is. Don't need to put it in the chat. It doesn't matter. I know what I like. I don't need to know how necessarily to explain it. But I'm going to do a 0.5 effect right here, and I'm going to switch now between camera angle number 1 and 2. See how that worked? So let me do it again. Hit number 3. Now, let's say I want to do a 2-second. So I'm going to make it really long. Now I'm going to go between camera angle number 3 and camera angle number 2. Camera angle number 2, camera angle number 1. Okay? So just in case you didn't see that, I'm going to do it again. Camera angle number 1 and a camera angle number 2 to my camera angle number 3, and then also with my GoPro. Got a lot of stuff going on here. Now, okay, so that's just one effect. You can do other effects as well. You can do, let's see, and I kind of have fun with that one sometimes, but that's so 2 seconds with kind of, I guess that'd be called like a swipe. So watch this. I'm gonna go, wow, right? My arm is kind of getting in the way, but I think you get the point. And then you have others as well. You can even mix it up a little bit to kind of have some fun. So the point is, you've got options on how to do slide transitions. Now look, as I said before, I've heard a lot of speakers say, oh, all these bells and whistles, you know, and they look at a switcher as just kind of, kind of not being very professional. And I'm like, the only person I've ever heard say that is somebody sitting in front of a bookshelf, which I don't think is going to be the greatest speech of all time. This allows me to be creative and allows me to have control between multi-camera angle views for audience engagement, and also just presenting myself the best possible way. These are kind of some bells and whistles that I mean, you are you and you have your own style, but I tend to only go cut 0.5 because, frankly, that's what I feel is most comfortable. I don't really use the transitions or the effects, but I am showing you how to do that, okay? So friends, we're closing up here. This is the multi-view out, just as a reminder, and that multi-view out plus the record, these two features right here are worth the upgrade to the ATEM Mini Pro. And trust me, if you're trying to record without going through a hard drive, the video feed's going to be compressed. It's not going to be nearly as good, and that's why you got the cameras. Remember? That's why you got the cameras. This ATEM does all the heavy lifting for you, and it completely sets you apart. That's why I'd encourage you to get the ATEM Mini Pro. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Be sure that you give me some feedback on this video. If you have a quick question, post it in the comment. I'll do the best I can to check that regularly and also answer it. If I can help you one-on-one, to actually help you, guide you, answer questions, you might have a couple, then you might want to send me an email, kevin@kevinsnider.com, and we can set up a coaching call. All right, but I hope this was helpful. Make sure you give it a like, and also check out my equipment list if you haven't done so already. And you can watch the other video if you haven't as well, how to set up your whole virtual studio where I take you behind the scenes. Definitely check out that video as well. All right, take care, bye.
Today, I'm just a reminder for you to dream, to think big,